what if David, or D4vd, I should say his name, kills her in spring? Or what if they get into some sort of fight? Maybe he goes too far, kills her. This is all speculation, guys, so I got to be very careful, guys. This is all my opinion here. But, they go back and forth, maybe they have a fight or something like that. It gets physical. He accidentally kills her, calls, somebody he knows. They come over, say, look, best thing to do is, and this is another big piece of evidence too, is that apparently the place he was staying at had a big freezer where big enough to store a body. So maybe they say, look, we're going to chop her up, put her in the freezer. When you go on tour, we're going to put her in the Tesla, drop the Tesla off, and then boom, your alibi is, oh, you were on tour. Of course you couldn't do it. You're on tour. You were away.
You have multiple cars. Yeah. Like they're not going to think automatically that just because the car is yours that
that's what it seems to me. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the mic check. I'm Jack, and I'm here with finally my co-host is back, CHIV.
What's going on, everybody?
Man, I gotta say, when you came to the studio today, I got a little misty-eyed. You saw, it was quite a beautiful sight. Thank you. I missed you. What did you think about the past few shows?
I was a big fan. I'm happy the people that you had on, they did a great job. It's not an easy role, in my opinion, especially to be thrown into. Definitely, especially after we've built the flow over the beginning of the show, and they were able to jump in, just kind of take over, engage with the guests, and it means a lot that we had people ready on standby to kind of jump in like that.
Yeah, you talked about, like I said, last episode at the end. If you guys saw at the end, which CHIV made a little sneaky appearance, talked about the surgery. So shout out to CHIV. Just thank God CHIV is back. He's safe. And we were all really worried, man. These past weeks, we were worried. What if he's never gonna be back for the mic check? What if he? It was like, this ain't for me.
Yeah, they actually, Jack came to visit me in the hospital and almost killed me. That's a true fact.
Yeah, that is. I was making this guy laugh like.
Yeah, he almost burst my incision open. It was gonna be a whole mess. Trying to make me laugh. I was like, yeah, don't make me laugh too hard because it'll break open. He's like, nah, you're lying. And he tried his hardest to make me laugh just so that he could see if it would happen.
Look,
and but we made it through. It was all right.
Don't they say laughter is the best medicine though? Yeah. Don't they say?
Yeah, they say laughter.
Or is that like the apple a day keeps a doctor away type? It's all in that same category and shit.
Yeah.
All right, CHIV, but enough making the show about you, all right?
Oh,
relax,
sorry.
bro. All right, because we got a guest here with us. We got a man who just dropped an very interesting project that we're going to talk about here. My man, Litto, the Ken and Friends, right? I like the idea of just, pairing up with your friends and things like that and making songs with them. And, obviously the whole track list has features and has some good bangers in there as well. So
thank you, bro.
I guess where did this idea just come from? And is this something like what was the purpose? Because also it makes it a lot easier to do.
Yeah. I agree. This honestly started like 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It was a concept. It was inspiration from the Cozy Tapes by A$AP Rocky, that whole AUG scene. I wanted to literally just gather a bunch of my closest people, my friends, and have them hop on my beat selection. And what I would do was rent out a studio space for a couple of hours and just bring a bunch of different people together. And that would open doors for them as far as networking, building a bridge, And that was my intention with it. I literally just wanted to feed off of people's energy in a sense. Like, I feel like that's what it is in the studios. You hear someone recording right in a certain way and you're like, oh, okay, this helps. Like, I know what to do. I can approach this a different way. And
it's like more than music, just building like a kind of a community or, just a group, that could build off one another. And something that definitely like everybody else and kind of that collective that you belong to and everyone else that's been on the album that we've had on, has kind of said a similar thing about just, building off one another and things like that. And like, I guess, how do you feel like that's benefited you? Like, who's someone that like, you're constantly bouncing shit off of that you feel like you guys are going back and forth and it's just making you better?
Slouch.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Slouch, yeah.
Shout out, bro.
Yeah, shout out Slouch, man. Big 47.
Big friend of the pod, 2
Yeah,
episodes.
yes.
Check them out, guys.
I would say Slouch. I feel I introduced him to the camp, to my people, and off that we were just able to generate so much, music. And whenever I'm in the studio with him, as opposed to just hanging out with him outside of that, it's two different worlds, you know. But as far as the studio goes, man, it's interesting. He has a whole different perspective on life. I feel like the path that he walks is very lonely, and not a lot of people understand it. So,
well, I think we saw from the podcast, yeah, like then he doesn't think like maybe me or you, or he's like, I feel like above in another world. Whether that's maybe a good thing to some, but bad things to others.
Yeah,
but he is in another world for sure.
Absolutely. And I just listen. I listen, and the way he writes his music and the way he goes about it when we're in the lab creating, it's interesting because I feel like it's nothing like mine. And I think he can attest to that as well. I make a certain type of music, a different sound. I think mine is more dark. And his is his own. I don't want to categorize, whatever his music is. That's for him to decide. But I would say that it is two different worlds, and when those collide, it's interesting.
Kind of like opposites in a way.
Yeah, literally.
Like I get what you're saying. Maybe not dark. Yeah, maybe not his light, but and essentially as difference as dark and light.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you're Batman, he's Superman in a way.
100%.
In a way.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. So it's him though. Just I guess. Since bringing him into this campfire collective, you selected him and said, hey, you got to come in. I mean, how do you feel like he's, how's everybody else feeling? Because I feel like everyone else maybe in a collective might be a little like, oh, this guy's coming in now a little late. Like, I've been here. Like, who is this guy? I mean, what was the reaction to, having this new guy in?
I think the people who I hang around, they're very, how can I put this? Whoever is a friend of Ken, of Litto, is a friend of ours because we know that Litto has the best intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like I try and what I do is I just try and place people in places of position, whether, I don't know, that be networking, just being on the sideline, whatever it may be. The point is to get people in the room. So when I did introduce him, it was a love automatically because they know, well, if Litto is bringing someone, then they're cool. They loved him. And I think that he's gone above and beyond for us. These shows that he does.
I was going to just ask about the shows. I was going to say, and how has it been? You guys just did a performance last weekend, shout out a week ago. I mean, like, talk about that. Like, I mean, you guys are doing, like, I see you guys doing the performances. I feel like they're leveling up each time. I mean, like, tell me, I mean, to just talk about that. I mean, how is it? And I know you're, going to do one soon or, rather soon. So you can talk about that as well. But, I mean, how did this last one go? I mean, it looked insane online.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you. It was cool, man. I do agree. I think every time it just gets better and better. There's always something to look forward to when coming to our shows. Everybody brings a different type of energy. I would say what we try and do is bring different artists each time. Yes, we keep our collective and what we have, but we branch off. There are different artists in the most recent show that we had that even my people didn't know. And that's Slouch just being Slouch, or like giving, trying to help out, lend a hand and be like, all right, this is an opportunity and I want everybody to eat. And I feel like that's where we both agree because that's just what it is. Everybody gets a chance. There's too much money to be made. I don't know. I don't know how people find it in their heart to be grimy in that aspect. Like everyone gets a shot,
Yeah. You feel like there's a lot of like jealousy and like people like hating for sure. Like when you see someone popping off, like some people, you hear it from people that pop off like, yo, I lost the people that were like closest to me.
Yeah. I've cut off a lot of people
already
along. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Unfortunately, but hey, it is what it is.
What is it from? Just like people like hating on your style? Is it like people like where does the hate even come from? Like why would people with you, not like, I guess, be happy just because of the stuff you're doing.
I think it's interesting. I think it's people people will stay near you and close to you and act like they're your friend, but the entire time there's like this envy, this sense of like, oh well, he's doing it, why can't I do it? But I'm still gonna stick around because, well, it's benefiting me in some way, you know? When in reality, it shouldn't be like that. I think that if one person feels a type of way, I don't know, you should communicate that and be like, yo, I think there's ways to go about things. And it's just a sense of communication, man.
Yeah,
and
like saying it to the face, like,
Yeah,
not
bro,
like kind
like,
of like
you
taking
know,
advantage. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And when you pick up on shit like that, it's like, all right, like, it's either I confront you or I just distance myself. And
You know how many people we've had to cut off already doing this podcast? I mean,
I can imagine.
some of my closest friends and family have been
None.
hounding me for money.
Nobody.
I can imagine.
But what do you call it? Back to your project, though. I want to just ask you, since we're on the topic of the album and this whole collection, who do you feel like was like the who stole the show? Do you think, in a way? Do you have like a performance maybe that stole the show? Even maybe if it's your own, but
Yeah, because it is your beat selection, so it's obviously not always going to be their style. So is
Yeah.
there anyone that like surprised you, like came
That's
out
a
with
very
something
good
that's like,
question.
whoa?
Nobody surprised me because I know what my people are capable of. And I think that if anything, we can say, I wouldn't even say I'm surprised. No, because yeah, like I said, not to repeat myself, not to sound like a broken record, but I feel like I know what my people are capable of, and I know what they know what they bring to the table, and it's an energy thing. Like I said, like we just bounce off of each other's energy, and whatever it's like in that moment, man, you're either in or you're out.
was there one that like stole the show? You would say,
A song?
or like not a song, but like a performance, maybe. But it could be a song too.
I would say. Oh, when you're talking about performance, do you mean like the show that we just had?
No, my bad. I should clarify. I'm talking about like the feature. Like if someone, really had a crazy feature like we talk about on an album, like, oh, this guy really stole the show, had a crazy verse on this song. Like, what do you feel like was that version for your album? Because like I said, the whole thing has features.
You guys actually had him on the podcast as well. It's YBK.
Yeah, so YBK, shout
Young
out, bro.
YBK, shout out Kelvin, man. That's my dog. Yeah, Kelvin, we have this song, I think it's track 4. If I'm not mistaken, it's Chaos/Control. And yeah, he fucking shitted on that.
Mm-hmm. I like the one too with you, Sherm, Artie, and
YBK. Yeah, Liar.
That's a good one. Yeah,
That's my shit,
That's
bro.
a lineup of that's like this generation's forever.
That's what I told. I told them when we did the episode. I told them that same thing, that I said it was really like New York's forever. I told Artie that, and he was like, "Yo, I'll fuck with that. But it's true, bro. So go check out the song, guys, and check out the whole project, by the way, because like I said, you could tell the effort. Like you said, 2 years in the making, and I think it's great that someone could listen to it and hear all the different types of artists, everybody kind of showing their own thing in a way, and then it's a nice concise project as well. So
Absolutely.
you do it in a very concise way.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, just aside, because there's obviously all crazy things going on in music, just always 24/7. But something that I want to definitely talk about this episode, because we talked about this in the past and massive updates have happened, is this D4vd situation. Okay, now I call him D4vd. I know some people say David, but I call him D4vd. Okay,
this is the R&B guy, right?
Yeah, this is the R&B guy. That, for those of you guys that remember, we talked about this very early on into the show. But a lot of updates have happened since that. This singer, he goes to, he's connected to this underage girl that he was allegedly dating. Some people have kind of pointed this out. Some of his friends or witnesses have kind of pointed to this, and they have matching tattoos as well. And the list goes on. But her body was found in the back of a Tesla that was, or the front of it, because it's the front, right? Or it's the front trunk. So it's the front of it. So the body was found in the front, registered to D4vd's name. And, the case has kind of gone cold for the past 2 months. There hasn't really been an arrest at all.
Really?
And no, there's been no even suspect name.
It was quiet. They weren't giving updates.
Well, not cold, yeah. Let me clarify. Not
quiet.
Literally cold. There's active, of course. It's an active investigation. But in terms of the public's knowledge, cold. Like we weren't getting any news, nothing was happening until about last week. TMZ started reporting some stuff that, you know, kind of contrary to what I believe D4vd's representative said at the time, that he was cooperating with police. That's not true, according to TMZ, guys. So keep that in mind. That's according to TMZ. And also that the body was partially frozen. Now that's also been debunked by LAPD captain as well.
That's true.
Yeah. What?
It was frozen.
Well, what it got debunked by LAPD officer that he was. This is what he said, that it was. What do you call it? That it was frozen, right? That it was not frozen when the body was found. Now, does that mean, what I personally think is maybe that this is misreporting, that maybe there were signs that it was frozen, there was freezer burns, but obviously it's not going to be frozen in a hot car, so it melted. So I think that's what the police guy was trying to say. And then he also said that she wasn't decapitated, but this is what TMZ is saying, that apparently now he's a person of interest. And I mean, let me ask you, Chiv, like, do you think, like, at a certain point, like, why aren't they just arresting this guy? Because some people are saying that. I mean, I've been saying for a while, I think they got to collect more evidence, make sure they got all the evidence. But I mean, what do you think about this?
I agree with you on that. And to add on, I think because of the nature of the case in terms of their relationship, there's a lot of evidence that can lead to an additional charge that could easily be destroyed by him. You know, in that time. I mean, obviously, there's going to be more evidence, but like, you want as much as possible. Is a hard thing to convict, not murder, but anything relating to her being a minor. And so they just want to make sure, you know, he has money, he has the means to flee, he has, you know what I mean? They just want to make sure that they, if they're going to arrest them, that this goes properly 100%, nothing gets lost, because this is somebody who, first of all, it's a heinous crime. I mean, it's a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Estimated at the time for death, 13, and a grown man. He's famous. So it's definitely a delicate situation. This isn't something that I think they want to risk on a trial. I think they want to make sure that they have this 100% before they go in, so that, you know, a jury can't throw it out, essentially.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole thing? I mean, this is a crazy case, right?
I remember when it first came out. I haven't really been keeping up to date with it, honestly. I would be lying to you guys if I said I was. But the last thing I do remember was he stopped his tour, right? He was on tour, and during this tour, there was like a casket, an open casket that they had at the shows, but it was like display. It was like for aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I don't know how true that is, but I saw something about that online, and she was 14.
Yeah, so
13?
I think it was.
Well, she's 15
It was
now.
something so I
think she was 14
Her birthday was like the week before they found the body. So it's assumed it was definitely not between her 15th birthday and her.
Wow.
But she went missing a year before she was 13.
Yeah.
When she went missing, and then she had turned 15 like a week before the body was found. So it's assumed like she was 13, 14 when she died. So
Well,
yeah, that's what I mean. It's a young girl. Like, that's not something that I think
also
you're right about
read-
collecting evidence. Like, that's something they need. They're not going to risk losing from, you know, somebody drops the ball, process, poisonous fruit, like something like that. Like, I don't think that's a risk they want to take.
I also heard something about David trying to kind of cover it up in a sense of getting a girl that looked kind of like her, but older. And he would post her on social media through like Discord. She was getting leaked.
It's possible because, I mean, who knows what happened? I mean, personally, just given what we're hearing, I mean, I gotta say, I know that like I said, the captain did refute that it was frozen, but he never, like I said, it's not like he said, oh, she was never frozen. That's completely false. He just said, oh, of course, you know, it would melt, you know what I'm saying? Which, you know, no one's denying, but the report did say she was found frozen. So it was a fucked up report.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? Like, but what I think is, look, what if David, or D4vd, I should say his name, you know, kills her in spring, or what if they get into some sort of fight? Maybe he goes too far, kills her. This is all speculation, guys, so I got to be very careful, guys. This is all my opinion here, but, you know, they go back and forth, you know, maybe they have a fight or something like that. It gets physical. He accidentally kills her, calls, you know, somebody he knows. They come over, say, look, best thing to do is, and this is another big piece of evidence too, is that apparently the place he was staying at had a big freezer big enough to store a body. So maybe they say, look, we're going to chop her up, put her in the freezer. When you go on tour, we're going to put her in the Tesla, drop the Tesla off, and then boom, your alibi is, oh, you were on tour. Of course you couldn't do it. You're on tour. You were away. Someone.
You have multiple cars.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to think automatically that
You know,
just because
that's
the
so
car is
crazy,
yours
bro.
that they.
That's
were,
what
they
it
got
seems to
stolen,
me.
'cause
That Tesla was moving though from location to
it was
location.
so it was parked in one spot for too long, so it got towed, and they found it. It was in the impound where they found the body. They started to.
Oh,
TMZ also reported too that apparently it was very vague because they said that they got this detail super vague, but apparently whatever, you know, David being a suspect, like why they think David is a suspect has something to do with a vacation trip they took in the spring somewhere. I forgot where. I don't know if you remember, but it's somewhere else that they took some sort of trip in the spring. And because of that, they think he's a suspect. Now, it's not clear what they found. Maybe it could be the fact that they believe she died there. That's maybe what it was. Like I said, in spring, and they say wait till summer and we'll hide the body. I mean, I think it's crazy that someone could have done that, you know, and just live a normal life. Like, you know, you're going on tour, you know, knowing this and living your life, doing interviews, you know, going to the studio. It's crazy, you know? Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
not his lyrics. His lyrics do not, and his old tweets don't help.
Incriminate him, bro.
Not that he.
regardless, it's
He-
on so many levels, bro.
It's crazy. I mean, like, I don't think, like, we've seen obviously some, you know, stories of musicians doing terrible things. I mean, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, not to compare, there's all sorts of bad ones, but this is definitely one of the worst that we've ever heard. I mean, seriously, like, I mean, this is an underage girl that literally he was dating. I mean, he's 20 something, or he's 20, I think exactly. And, you know, like literally she's missing. I mean, it definitely seems like we have reason
guy
to
that got
believe.
famous off a song called "Romantic
Yeah,
Homicide."
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
know what I'm
probably the
saying?
biggest
Like,
piece of
come on,
evidence,
bro.
yeah, this if this was like a murder mystery, we'd be like, nah, he didn't do it because it's too obvious. Like he's like the, you know, this is literally, that's how obvious
It's
this
album
shit
promotion.
is. Yeah, it's like literally you're admitting this. You're admitting this in your music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, did you ever listen to D4vd at all?
No, besides that viral song.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I
that
listened to
one, right? Romantic Homicide.
a lot. I said this in the first episode we talked about it. I listened to that song a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he exposed himself as like a massive fan.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I've heard it. I've heard it online, Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I don't use any of that stuff, but mainly just Instagram.
One last thing on the D4vd thing that I do want to say is, you know, at the end of the day, if this is what they did, my theory, right, and it might make it very difficult to actually prove David, you know, actually killed the girl. So my question is, will they inevitably hit him with something less? Like, will they hit him with, like, you know, covering up evidence, concealing up, you know what I mean, covering up a murder, something like that? And he'll still go to jail for a long time, but it won't be for murder. And I mean, if that happens, I'm curious to see what the public reaction will be, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, you know, people that are upset saying, oh, he definitely killed her. But at the end of the day, if you can nail him on an easier charge to charge him on, then I mean, maybe it's worth it. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
It depends on it's probably going to depend on the punishment is the thing, right? Like
Jail.
right. So if he doesn't end up in jail, or he does 4 months, 8 months, 9 months, like they're not.
Well, obviously, yeah, that would
there's
be
gonna
ridiculous.
outrage. Now, if he's in for 20 years, then I think people might be like, all right, you got him away. You got him on at least serving a long sentence.
Yeah, no, I would
And his
definitely want to
career
know.
is done. That's the biggest thing that people are going to want
yeah.
to see. They want to see his career ended. Nobody wants to listen to him.
Do you think that he could recover?
No.
Any
He
chance?
would need an insane amount of evidence that he has no involvement whatsoever
I mean,
to come back from that. I mean, it would have to be a crazy like receipt that he's got that he had nothing to do with it. They need a video of it not being him.
yeah.
Listen, I don't know David, man, but I've seen what he looks like, and he just looks a little crazy, bro.
Yeah, he does look like a demon
does look a little
sometimes, like-
crazy.
He says some weird stuff on the internet, bro.
Yeah.
He says some suspicious things on the internet about you know, fantasies and whatnot. But you know, you ever saw the tweet that the
what was
poem he did in his notes app? It was like,
what was it?
it was just, I don't remember honestly, but I just remember thinking like, all right, this guy's weird.
Yeah,
It was
some
was
disturbing
weird,
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, we know, like, these artists, we talked about it a few episodes back. Like, yeah, they're about the genius thing. I don't know about that with this guy, but he's just fucking crazy.
Yeah,
you know, this guy is this guy is, you know, maybe zero of an artist and 100% crazy. Sounds like evil dude. Or maybe not though. We got to wait for the evidence to come in. Maybe, who knows? Maybe he was innocent. I mean, but at the very least, I mean, it definitely seems like they were dating, but that's obviously not confirmed. But I mean, who knows? Who knows what will happen? I mean, with this whole David situation. I mean,
Did you see that there was footage? I did see this. I remember now. I actually saw this video 2 days ago, maybe. It was a video of her. Actually, after she was reported missing, she showed up on like a block
I didn't see
nearby.
Yeah, I did see that.
And there were people, like a family. It was a regular family in their backyard.
and she's like drunk or something, right?
Yeah, she was.
Whoa.
She just wasn't in her fucking senses, and she was just blurring out things, and yeah, bro, it's like
That's why the biggest thing I think they're waiting for it that they keep saying is taking a long time is the toxicology report, because they want to see. There was a theory going around that she might have just been on drugs and crawled in to the car. I don't know. I mean, that was a thing going around. That's why they want to wait for the toxicology report. That's why they're not like arresting him too, is they want to see if she was on drugs at the time.
Yeah, well, the police said that initially that, oh, you know, it's not even, they haven't even officially declared this a homicide investigation, but they were like, well, who knows? It could have been, you know, that's what I think speculation came from, because it's like, well, why would they, you know, not say it's a homicide? Well, I think it's probably because they were trying to get D4vd to talk. Don't think he's talking. It seems like, I mean, I would have guessed, just based on not knowing anything about anything, like he's a, you know, very rich dude. I'm sure he's going to demand to have a lawyer, and they're going to tell him, don't talk, you know, wait till, especially if they don't clearly have enough evidence to arrest this guy. Who knows? I mean, I think that we're hitting like a boiling point with this. Like, I think we're going to have to, at some point, get an arrest or something like that. I think at some point, like, there's going to be
a homicide.
Yeah, we need an update. I think maybe within the coming weeks, maybe by the time this episode even comes out. Hopefully not. I really hope not. So hopes. Just realize that probably is going to happen.
You hope they don't solve the crime.
Well, solve the crime on Saturday, or announce that you solved the crime on Saturday, or maybe even wait a little longer. Maybe you could wait till next week or something in the middle of next week.
I hope they solve it as soon as possible. And
I hope they solve it as soon as possible, but I hope they announce it to the public.
Yeah.
Late. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
But
so
announce it to
TMZ comes out with the article late.
Yeah, like I'm hoping that they say, okay, let's make sure first that we got the right guy, because you don't know with David, you know? You really got to make sure you got the guy with his money. And then you wait, and then we see from there. You know? I mean, I don't know, but David, I think he's in hot water. I think we're going to get an update soon. I mean, I know you didn't listen to David, but I got to ask, you know, somebody did say you listened to is A$AP Rocky. He's also trending because, you know, he's been teasing this album. You know, it's coming out.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's what I was going to tell you.
Don't be dumb, or what is it called? Don't be dumb?
Yes, is that he was selling merch. That's like the album's not coming out.
Album never coming out, but then he also apparently is supposed to come out. So, do you think this album's coming out ever? Do you think? Are you upset as a fan because now he's kind of trolling you guys, or what?
No, I'm not upset at all. I don't mind. It's like Cardi with taking fucking 5 years to drop.
Yeah,
I don't mind. It is what it is. You keep leaking shit. What the fuck do you expect? You're only making it harder for me to drop something. You know, like. That's just what it is. And
or if you have 2 kids, since you announced the album, that's gonna slow you down a little bit too.
Yeah,
he's been a father. Bro. He's been busy. He's gonna be like, is he gonna be have a 3rd kid or something?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. But it's coming. I don't think A$AP's done making music. Like,
nah.
Yeah, bro. When it comes, it comes. There's no rush. No rush at all. I would say though, I think it is coming January 2026.
Yeah, I saw somewhere it was coming 2026.
January, I think.
Yeah, well, that would be the 15th date that he's in.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I take it with a grain of salt. But what do you think will come out first? Kanye West Bully or Don't Be Dumb?
Oh, Bully will be out in December.
You think it's coming out first?
I think Bully will come out before Don't Be Dumb.
Probably Bully, bro.
Yeah, you think so? But you never know with Kanye, bro. He cancels all the time.
But I think the thing about Don't Be Dumb is I feel like it honestly is clearances. I think that's the problem that they're having.
Yeah.
I think that's what's been holding it up so much. I don't think it's him. I don't think he's putting it all. I think it's clearances. It's a legal thing.
I would agree.
Because,
well, yeah, I do agree.
They need to,
I think Ye has more power. like
Mhm.
to
But he'll
do
also
shit like
just
that.
do it. He'll
Yeah.
take the lawsuit. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a label that's gonna stop him from doing it. He'll just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like I feel like with those sample rules, like they gotta like kind of lighten up on those, bro. Like it's crazy. You'll get
Yeah,
sued for
bro.
fucking having like the same fart in a fucking movie. Like, relax.
Yo, you
It's
have
all
no
a new thing.
idea, bro. You have no idea how much music I have that like I've just haven't dropped because of the sample. Like it's
Yeah.
like, bro, I know that whatever. Hopefully, one day there comes a point in time where this shit does just fucking pop off, and when that time does come, I know that I'm gonna be getting some emails and calls.
It
Like,
should be
yo,
like, bro, come on. If you're making it such a different thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's really such a different, because we've heard samples before where, bro, you barely can even recognize it. It's like you're creating a whole new, a whole new thing with it. So it's like it goes beyond just, oh, you're just bringing someone else's thing. No, this is completely different. Or maybe make this like an easier process. Like, what is, you know what I'm saying? Like the fact people could just be like, nah, I'm good. I don't know. What do you think about this shit?
It's complicated. Copyright law is really complicated because on one hand, it makes no sense in the way that we have it set up now because the idea is that it protects the music for the artist, which in a lot of cases for sampling, it probably does because it goes to the songwriter. But realistically, like with a lot of copyright, what you're doing is stopping the production company label, like whatever the owner is, from making money. And it's not really affecting the actual creator that much. So it's such a difficult set of laws, and that's why sampling, it's so weird. Like they have like for covers, for example, there's an official process. All you have to do is request a cover license. You're required by law to get it.
really?
You can't. Yeah, the artist can't say no. You can't make a cover of my song. That's required by law. If you ask for it, that's why like you go on DistroKid or To Law, something like that, like a distribution platform, they'll do all that for you. They'll get the cover license for you. You could upload a cover. Yeah, but it's up to the artist if they don't want, what they made represented. That's why I understand it. I get it more than like covers is official because you're doing it exactly as the artist intended. But if you made something and then you see, like, let's say Kanye West as an example because of the music he's making, right? If you made a piece of music and then you hear it sampled in a song called Now Hallelujah, but like with the original lyrics, like you don't want your art tormented in that way and like twisted like that.
We all know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And-
you know what? Yeah, I gotta say,
so
you've
that's why it's
definitely.
so
I get what
strict.
you're saying. Yeah, it's definitely a slippery slope because it's like, you don't want someone going on the song or I'll say this being like, just saying a whole bunch of stuff you disagree with. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're, a songwriter that's on the left, and then you have a rapper's rapping about right stuff, you're probably not going to be happy. So I guess I get it in that regard, but still, man, it just sucks because
It makes it hard as a small artist.
because that is such a small, section when like really most of it is totally people doing their own thing, repurposing it for a totally different.
That's why it
different
sucks
thing.
as a small artist because if you look at the liner notes of albums, like that's deals between record labels. So if you're signed to a record label and you could just, and you're an artist on a label, you could just make the music and then you send it off to the label. The label is going to contact, your label is going to contact the other label, get the clearance. But sampling is so integral to hip hop. And so if you're coming up and you're a producer, like you are probably going to get started with, not a lot of producers in hip hop get started with learning an instrument. They get started with sampling. And then how do you even make it out that way? Right. Especially if you want to produce your own music. Because as a producer, you get a little bit of leeway because it's really more on the artist that actually releases the song. You could sell the beat. It's up to the artist that releases the song to get the sampling clearance. But if you're trying to produce for yourself, and you want to sample because that's what hip hop is, that's what it's based off of, is sampling. And you just can't get away with it. And it's not even, you're talking about a little thing that's unrecognizable. It's like, dude, like a drum break. Like that's not that recognized. You know what I mean? Like unless it's
that's
iconic
excessive.
drum break, like that's not that recognizable.
excessive.
It's drum noises.
Yeah.
And it's tough when you're a small artist, but I think it makes sense for protecting the.
I do try and sample. I do sample a lot. I agree with you, bro. I do sample a lot of things, and some of the things that I do sample, I have out.
Yeah, what?
I have out, like they're out on all platforms. You can find it everywhere. And one, I would say, pay homage. Like literally pay homage. Like if you're sampling something or a certain artist, for me, it would be with Icy Twat. That's one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to the music. I started off on his type beats, and from there I've met a couple of producers along the way. And shout out to my producers because I don't even know them personally. They're just from around the world.
Have you ever like reached out to any?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to. You have to. And it's even cooler when they reach out to you, you know, because then that means, well, no, you fuck with me, you know, like you see your beat, something that you took time to make on my shit, you know, on my lyrics. It's cool. And yeah, them reaching out to me, it's, I mean, that's everything. That's everything you want. That's everything I've ever wanted. So
Have like opportunities to collab. I mean, look, your last album. I mean, so they all collab.
Pretty much,
album.
bro. I don't even search for beats anymore, thankfully. And I don't mean that in like a cocky way. It's just I have producers who genuinely fuck with me and like just send me whatever they make, or we hop on a car, or I give them an idea like, yo, sample this. You know what I'm saying? I want the kicks like this, hi-hats, whatever, you know? And I guess where I was going with all of this, that was a little bit off topic, but sampling stuff, something that I've been sampling recently that I haven't been able to get off my mind. There's this band. It's they have this album called Songs of Hers, and they're called Hers, and they died. They died in a car accident a couple of years ago. I don't remember the details, but yeah, I sampled a couple of songs from that album, and the reason I haven't dropped it is because of that, like that whole sampling thing. Like, I don't want to get hit with some shit, and now I'm fucking in debt, and I was just trying to make some music, you know? And yeah, bro, I feel like a lot of people struggle with that.
I mean, is there like any way, like what would you even be able to do in that situation?
Nothing.
SoundCloud. That's it.
Yeah,
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
You could do SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. That's it. That's the only thing that really protects you.
Do you think if you were able, do you think there's a way like let's say if you were able to get in contact with somebody that they would approve it realistically?
It's a little bit harder because I feel like I would have to reach out to the label in itself because they're no longer here to speak for themselves. But
I would think there's probably somebody that's like owns
like a manager or somebody who owns
the label.
Yeah,
that's the thing. The label owns the masters, and like the reason that it works so well if you're an artist with a label and the label talks is because they can coordinate a royalty split. If you're gonna make $2.36 off the song, the labels don't want to talk. You know what I mean? Why take a 15% split? I mean, yeah, it makes sense always in their favor, right? Because if the song does blow up, they make money.
They do make money,
but
yeah.
Even just paying the lawyer to do the paperwork to give you the license for the sample costs more than they're gonna make on the song.
Yeah.
So why even bother answering the email?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's true. But I thought maybe like it would work like this. You could just pay a fee, you know?
You could. They might ask you for a fee, but that's a fee.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
They might ask because they could do whatever they want, right? So if they feel like the royalty split's not going to get them back nothing,
well, let me ask you
then
this.
they might ask you, but then you have to pay. Then you got to pay a fee up front, and that's going to be expensive.
Well, I agree. Yeah,
I mean?
I don't think you should. It's sad that we even have to do this, but like you did say though, like when the shoe's on the other foot, it makes sense, all right? Like when it's like, you know, negative and you don't want your shit to be sampled, it's like, yeah, obviously, you know, you say don't sample.
It makes sense
stuff.
for protection. It screws over small artists, and sampling still honestly isn't taken super seriously in music outside of hip hop. There's a lot of people, they say, you know, a big thing when Doechii did Anxiety. A lot of people are like, "Oh, make your own music. Why is this sampling? Like, I love this song because it did
such a good
someone
reference.
I used to know." And people are like, "Oh, you know, why would you do this? Like, just make your own music. You don't have to sample." Like, but that's I've played instruments, I've made hip hop beats. I promise you, sampling is harder every single time. I promise. I've done them both. And people don't see that. They don't see it that it's not taken seriously as an art form, sampling.
Yeah, and I mean, it literally, like in hip hop, it's like literally all over. Like
of
everybody,
course, that's how it started. That's how you take the, you know, you have the two turntables, and that's how you did it. You took the drums from one. They started as DJs. That's what you know what I mean. That's why the rappers were MCs because they hosted it.
Yeah, literally. But also I wanted to ask you about, was the song that you were talking about the song that you sampled for? Would you say like because I was wondering, if you hit them up, like would you say was it a song? I guess kind of like not necessarily in tribute, but like kind of like like paying homage, like you said before.
I do that at all about music.
But
Especially my old
to the
stuff.
hers or the
Oh
people,
yeah, absolutely. In whatever way I can, because I don't want to force it.
Mhm.
That's a big thing because I feel like homages became a little bit corny. Like they're especially in the underground scene. And I hate it because I'm not fond of it. That whole like hating on homage. Cause it's like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with paying your respect to somebody?
Mhm.
You know? I don't know. It all comes with the intention, I guess.
Well, I'm saying, like, do you think that like they would interpret the song as kind of paying homage in a way, like the hers estate or the hers label?
It depends. It depends. I mean, from a label standpoint, I feel like they're looking at it like this: money.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
from an artist perspective, you're trying to put yourself in the okay, like what was this artist thinking when they sampled my song? What are they talking about?
Mhm.
If it's bullshit, then you can feel the way, I guess. I would. But me, I don't know. I wouldn't mind if anybody sampled my stuff. I take that as a compliment. Like I wouldn't even I feel like I'm the type of person to tell the label to chill. Like it's okay.
Mhm.
Like, oh, you want some money? Okay, cool. Take it from me.
Yeah,
But yeah, nah, it's okay.
yeah,
Because
damn.
I kind of understand that.
And that just shows your love for the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't care, bro. That's hip hop, like you said. That's
Exactly.
rap. That's how rap started.
I've released
So
songs
people
that way.
finding it corny, it's man. I don't know. You hating the roots.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
I've released songs that way. They have a license. I really can't remember what it's called right now. But it's essentially the music equivalent of a copyleft license. What that means is like I've released music saying you could take this is my composition. You could take it. You could do whatever you want with it. The only stipulation is you also have to release it under the same license. So you could take it and change it however you want. You could sample it as long as you release it, and people are also able to sample your song using my original thing.
Mm.
And like the thinking behind that is exactly that. It's the art form. Is like if I'm gonna make something, and I'm inspired by sampling, like if I'm gonna make something original, I'm gonna want people to be able to sample it, and I don't want there to be any strings attached. Except like I don't want them to then take my composition that I gave them to do for free, and now it's like, all right, but now it's mine. Now only I could have it.
Yeah.
I want them to also allow other people to mix whatever they did.
Yeah,
I
because I
agree.
feel like a lot of people at the top, it seems like I feel like some people forget, or some people, like I said, I've said this as well, as it seems like I feel like, people when they blow up, they forget, but also we don't see the other side of shit. It's like we were talking about the way in the beginning, like people turning and this and that. So it's like,
Mhm.
it's kind of a mix.
It's probably the labels mostly.
Yeah,
like the
labels,
like the
yeah.
thing is like that license. I'm sure plenty of artists, plenty of homegrown, had nothing but a beat machine artists would love to release music and have it all sampled and stuff.
Mhm.
But the labels aren't going to allow that because the thing is that when you do it on a license like that, the song isn't copyrighted at all. So technically, what that means is if I could buy the song and then I could post it online for free, and anybody could download it, you don't have to pay for it. The thing is, like the labels got to realize is people don't want to download music anyway. They're going to listen to it on Spotify no matter what.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you could release the song for free because everybody's getting music for $10 a month.
Mhm.
So, I think it's the labels that hold that back mostly. I think independent artists would probably be more willing to allow for sampling, but it's just
Agreed.
the labels don't want you to.
Yeah, wait. If there's like a lawyer watching this, do you want to change the world or something? Come on, go ahead, propose some laws, to fix the sampling issue because, I feel like first of all, you'd be a poppin' lawyer. You got a lot of business, but so shout out, please someone do that, bro. But I do want to ask you this because we saw, we were a little concerned about you a few weeks ago. We saw a Slouch posting. I wanted to ask from your perspective about, obviously you could talk about what happened about, why you're at the hospital, but.
Yeah.
Is it true that it looked like Artie just, an AKA Slouch, like he just cured you? It seemed like in the hospital, it seemed like he cured you with some meditation.
That is
Yeah.
what the post,
The post,
No,
guys,
yeah.
I'm not joking. The post says that Slouch, that he what is it, resuscitated you, gave you some air back into your body, healed you through meditation. You want to talk about it from your perspective?
Yo, shout out to Slouch, bro. Oh my god. Yeah. So yo, that's so funny you mentioned that. I would say he came to visit me.
Well, why were you at the hospital for people?
Oh, okay. So I was in the hospital because I couldn't breathe.
Mhm.
Like I legitimately couldn't breathe. It was my asthma. And I was already experiencing that on top of allergies. And then when I got to the hospital because I couldn't breathe, I was in the ER and they took me into like the resuscitating room, the CPR, or just like if somebody needs oxygen ASAP. They took me in there. And since I got into the hospital, I needed oxygen or I couldn't breathe. Like they had me through like through so many fucking things. It was a mask and then it was a little thingy through my ears.
Wow.
Then they even considered putting a tube down my throat. And when they were talking about that, it's like they're talking about it so lightly. Well, like, yo, I'm in the room, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what you mean you want to put a tube down my fucking throat, bro?
Yeah, I would have been like terrified.
Yeah,
bro.
and I'm looking at them. I'm like, no, like, I'll get better. And yeah, bro, it was.
I mean, it must have been pretty serious. I mean, to have a tube.
You had the flu as well, right?
Yeah, they told me 2 hours into me being there, they took so much blood.
Like that.
After all of that, they ran the tests and they were like, yo, we thought you had pneumonia. You have the flu. And then they brought in a doctor with the they put me in a tube by myself. I was contained. And then they gave every doctor a mask and they had to wear a mask for the rest of their shift.
Wow.
Wow,
man.
until I left at least.
Mhm.
And I was in there for a couple of hours.
Yeah, and then eventually you got better. Obviously, it seemed from
Bro.
when Artie visited you or Slouch
It was
visited
crazy.
you.
I'm thinking, like, what can I tell you next? At some point, I even had to go in my own room. They gave me a room, and I couldn't be without the oxygen. So, everything was just difficult. It was hard, and I had IVs. It was trash.
No, I know, dude. That sounds terrible, man. Like I don't even know. I would be shitting my pants. Like I feel like I get like a fucking little cold. I'm like, bro, am I dying? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's terrifying to hear. Damn tubes. Like it did seem serious. So I'm glad I've seen you since, and I've seen you now today. So I'm glad that you're doing a lot better.
Thank you, man.
But I did want to ask though. Like I said, Slouch pulled up. He pulled up, he seemed to, do some meditation with you, increased your vitals, and then the next thing I know, you're out of the hospital. So let that be the story, but you want to kind of clarify a little more?
Shout out to him, man, because he came and visited me, as far as a couple of other people as well. Yeah, and shout out to them. Like, you didn't have to come visit me for real, and you did. And I know you're watching, so...
You know how I found out about it was I texted Slouch and I was like, yo, you and Litto should hop on the podcast together, we should do an episode. And then he tells me you're at the hospital. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, get out of here. So, but he pulls up, right? So he goes to the hospital and I guess, how do you guys even start this like meditation?
At that point, I was already okay with being without the oxygen. So I was able to breathe by myself. Was it hard? Yes. But I could manage. And I was on mad steroids. They were giving me pills left and fucking. He comes in and he's just like, all right, put your hands like this. With his hands on. And he's like, you're gonna do breathing for 3 seconds, hold your breath, and then we're gonna do 5 seconds, and then 8 seconds, 10 and 12. And then we did that. I followed it. And yeah, bro, I felt like very good after that.
I was going to say, did you feel like an actual noticeable difference?
Yeah, I definitely, for sure. It's, I feel like I really focused on that's literally what it is, just solely focusing on your breathing. And since I got in the hospital, I couldn't really do that because I couldn't breathe on my own.
Right.
So me exercising that's what it was, him exercising my breathing. And it's like therapy.
Yeah.
In a sense. And yeah, bro, I felt way better after
Dr.
that.
Slouch.
Yeah, the
building,
doctors
bro.
came in and
Dr.
he even
Slouch.
told them, he's like, wait. I
told
swear to you. I swear to you. One of the nurses,
said,
bro.
wait.
And then she's like, okay, I'll come back. They were mad
Wow.
sweet, too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He said, I got this.
Yeah, he's like, I got this. Let
Some
me,
nurses
you know?
would have been like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude."
That's what I'm saying. Yo,
so
like,
it's a good thing that
what
nurse
the
was
fuck
fine.
you mean, bro? Like,
And he would have stood on business for sure.
yeah,
been like,
he
nope,
did, bro. He's
hell
like,
no.
Like, look at the numbers. Come on, my
hey,
work
yo,
speaks for
word.
itself.
Like, you see what I'm
Well-
doing right now?
Well, for those of you guys, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. For those of you guys that don't know, I saw this from Slouch's story. He posted your vitals. They were like, I could be completely wrong, and I don't even know anything about vitals, but it
His
was
oxygen,
like, I think, yeah,
his
it was like,
oxygen capacity like increased.
yeah,
like,
yeah, it was his,
legitimately,
it was
I don't
oxygen
remember the
capacity. I think it was like
numbers, but
93, 90 to 96 or 89 to 90, or something like
I
that.
think it was in
like,
the 80s,
yeah,
and then it
yeah.
went up to 90. Like,
Yeah, it was up a noticeable amount after doing it. So I mean, look, obviously, no joke, that stuff does obviously have its benefits. So I'm sure that did help you and stuff like that. And yeah, thank God you're healthy now and stuff. Shiv, you got a last question in
Thank you,
mind
man.
that you're
I
stroking
think
your
you
beard over there?
I do have a last question. I want to ask about your shirt. Did you make that shirt?
Yeah, man. So this
Yeah,
is.
I want you to show off the shirt. Talk about.
Hell yeah. So we got this is my logo. I have this shit tattooed on myself. This is
I fuck with it,
my
man.
signature, literally. You got the L, the I, T, and then the O. Yeah, bro.
Maybe like stand up a little more. Show
Because I like the
people.
cut.
Cam-
I like the cut of the
Yeah.
shirt a lot.
Oh
actually.
yeah, this is
That's-
me. This is I
shout
cut 'em,
out, bro.
I crop them. And then the back you got the.
Is this, can people buy this, or is this just yours?
If you want one, hopefully, I mean,
Yeah,
I can ship them out to you for sure.
Yo, I would definitely want one, bro.
yeah,
for
I would
sure.
want one.
I'll wear it on the pod for
That's
sure.
fire.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I'm with y'all now.
Nah,
could
but I
get you
meant
guys
the
one.
people watching too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They
I
can
could
cop
definitely
it?
make you one. I would say contact me.
I'll contact him on
Yes,
Instagram,
contact
link in
me.
the description,
Yes.
and all that. Yeah, no, because you do design a lot of you like designing clothes and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Would you say which one's like the stronger hobby?
I'm not gonna lie. As of lately, just because I had this show,
Mhm.
there was a lot of people that purchased like T-shirts. I sent a message. I'm like, yo, whoever wants a T-shirt, please, reach out. And there was a.
Are you
decent
selling them right
amount of
now, or you're
people.
just giving them out?
I can within if you tell me yo, I want a T-shirt, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like I could even get it to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
you seem very nice guy. Like, yo, I'll give you the shirt off my back. Like,
Yeah,
type.
bro, for
Yeah.
sure, absolutely. Because I know that I can get another one.
Yeah.
I'm not charging. I'm not gonna. It's that simple.
Yeah. Did your seat just lower, or am I bugging?
I don't know.
No, I thought it did. No, I thought he lowered
didn't-
before my very
Nah.
eyes. Maybe I'm bugging. But yeah, no, shout out. So contact him if you guys want any clothes. Also, check out the album, Ken and Friends. Big
Ken and
album.
Friends.
It was a great album. And thank you, Shiv, for coming back. I'm glad you're back.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad to
please
be
don't
back.
ever leave again.
I
Please.
will
I was-
never be donating an organ
You know I
again.
have abandonment issues, bro. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Don't do this to me, bro. All right, guys. Hit the subscribe button, guys. If you tune into the end, comment. What should they comment, you think, at the end, huh? Comment Litto the GOAT.
Comment.
Unless you got a better one.
Comment Litto, let me get a T.
Yeah, comment
Section.
Litto, let me get a T. And yeah, that's the way you're gonna get a free T. Otherwise, you gotta pay him.
Yeah, word.
That's
if you
it.
can, I'm not even gonna publicize it. Nothing. Like I'm gonna publicize it, but this,
Yeah,
if
the
you made
end.
it to the
You
end of
gotta watch
this, then
the
you'll
end.
know. So I'll know when I see that comment,
Yes.
and it'll be Litto T.
Yes, Litto T.
All right,
Litto T, and you
fire.
guys got it, guys. Peace out. Another episode of the Mic Check. We out. All right. Wow, that was a great pod, man.
Yeah, that was good.
That was amazing. Great return.